to my YouTube channel where I talk about homeschooling. Today I'm going to review a homeschool curriculum. It's called Around the World with Picture Books. It's by Rhea Berg and it is published by Beautiful Feet Books. So this curriculum, you can either buy this part online or you can download it as a PDF file, purchase it that way. And then you can also buy it together with several picture books that go with the units, with the studies, or you can just buy this part, the instruction part, by itself. And then you're also supposed to use this maps book with it. So this curriculum is a social studies curriculum, and essentially you get to learn about different countries in the world, specifically ones that are in Asia and Africa, as well as Antarctica. They do have another curriculum on their website where you learn about South American and European countries. So here is a flip through of what it looks like inside. Now I printed most of this black and white because when I wanted to see how much it costs to print it in color, it was actually pretty expensive. It was like $50 or $60 to print the whole document in color, which is more than the PDF the PDF costs itself to download. And so I thought I would just print most of it in black and white, which was like $15. That was a big difference. And then I picked certain pages that I wanted to print in color, where I thought the color was important to it. So I printed those ones in color and most of it in black and white. And so there are really beautiful photographs and illustrations to go with all of these mini units. With each country, you look at the map of the country from the maps book, and then you read a variety of picture books to go with it. Usually you learn some history about that country, so that's another nice thing, is that this curriculum for social studies covers both history and geography. And then you learn a little bit about the animals in that country, as well as the art in that country, and even the cuisine, the food in that country. And at the end of the book, there are coloring pages, maps, and flags of the countries to color, as well as animals to color for the nature study part. So here is the China unit that we did. And the first part of each country's unit is where you look at the map of said country that you are studying. And in this really beautiful map book, here is the map of China. All the maps in here are really neat. They have a lot of little drawings and all kinds of little facts about the country, what the people, like what kind of names, typical names of people in the country and animals that are there, tourist attraction, landforms, famous buildings, the food, the like even trees and things that grow there, all kinds of things like that. So you could spend a lesson just looking at the map. And then you basically go through picture books, and you learn about China with their picture book suggestions. You also, in China, the China unit, there's also this page here that has photographs, and then it explains what they are. So we looked at these, and the ones that grasped our attention, we looked up some more information, saw some YouTube videos about these things. And there's one of the books you read about China is The Story of Ping. It gives you suggestions for lots of other stories to take out to learn about China. Some of them are like fables, legends, and some of them are historical stories as well. So this is a biography and history section. So you have here about like Marco Polo, Genghis Khan, Kublai Khan, the Great Wall of China, stories like that. And then there's always an art connection with each country where you can try doing an art form from that country. A nature connection where you learn about animals from that country. And then a food part where you can try making a meal from that country, and there's a recipe included. You can either buy some of the books with the curriculum, or you can also take out a lot of them from the library. I was on a bit of a budget, so I actually took them out from the library, and our library has a really good system of getting interlibrary loans, and I was able to get almost all of the books that I looked for. So it worked really well for me to just take them out of the library, read them during our unit, and then return them when we were done. This is not a part of the curriculum, but we already have this book at home, and so I included it as part of our unit, and it went really well with that. So this book is Children Just Like Me, DK Publishing, and they have on different pages children, little sections about children from the different countries. So this one here is Xiaowei from China, and you get to read a little bit about his family, his home, the food he eats, the school he goes to, how he writes his name, how he says hello, and special little things about his culture that might be different. And it does that about different countries, different children. So I like to use this along with our picture books around the world curriculum. It fits really well with it. So what are my pros and cons about this curriculum? Well, one of the pros is that it's appropriate for different ages. So my oldest was 6 during this school year, and I didn't want, like most of homeschooling, to be just focusing on him, because I had 2 younger ones, and then also I had a baby during the school year as well. And this was really nice because it's picture book based, so I could sit down on the couch and we would read the picture books, and then my 4-year-old would sit with us, and sometimes my 2-year-old would sit with us as well. So it's a good curriculum for if you're teaching different ages of children at the same time. And of course it's interesting because it's based on picture books. So children like that, and everyone likes that, really. Like, you're never too old for a good picture book. And as you can tell, it's Charlotte Mason based. You're reading stories to learn about social studies, and you're supposed to be also encouraging your children to be notebooking throughout the unit and be writing down their thoughts and drawing pictures about the things that they learn. You can just use your own notebook, or you can buy, there's a special notebook that they sell on their website as well for this curriculum package. And it's a very good way of exposing your children to other countries and other cultures. It's very rich and immersive. You're teaching them the history and the art, and even like the food from that country. It's fun at the end of the unit to try a meal based on that country. And so that way it also reaches out to different kinds of learning styles. So visual learning and auditory learning and all that. And it's also affordable. It's a decent price, and it's reusable. So you download it once or you buy it once, and you can like reuse this over and over again for how many times you go over it, and do different countries with your children as they grow. Like, I would probably do like a few in a year. So this one has a lot of countries in it, and we only did 2 this past year because I spent like 2 months on China and 2 months on Ghana. And that's the other thing, you can just like decide, like, do I just want to spend a month per country or however long. There's a lot of book suggestions, so I was kind of like taking a whole bunch of them out of the library, and it took us a really long time to get through it all, especially because we also had a baby. And so it took us like 2 months to do one country, but you could do a country in 1 month, however much you want to do. So this could last you like a few years, depending on how you space it out, and if you do other things in social studies too. Because we also did other units in social studies, like we did a unit on knights and castles as well, in between. Like we did China, then we did knights and castles, and then we did, what was the other one? Ghana. So it can last you pretty well. The one con that I have about this is that some of the stories were a little bit scary, so I highly recommend that you pre-read the stories before reading them the first time to your children, just depending on what you feel comfortable with. Some of them were a little bit scary because they were talking about like history or like legends and tales that might be a little bit scary or a little bit disturbing. So I highly recommend that you preview the stories before you read them the first time to your kids. And then the other little con is that it's not like really very fact-based. So at the end of the unit, they might not know, might know a ton of like cold, hard facts about the country that they studied, but then again, like it's for younger children, so they'll be learning through picture books just a lot, getting a feel for that country that they're learning about. So that is my review of Around the World with picture books. And if you have any questions, comment below. And if you like homeschool reviews and other homeschooling videos, then please subscribe to my channel. I'm pretty new to this. Thanks for watching. Now you can either buy the picture books together with the curriculum from Beautiful Feet, or you can take them out of the library. I took my picture books out of the library because I was on a bit of a budget, and my library has a pretty good interlibrary loan system. So I was able to find almost all the books that I looked for in my library, and then I could just take them out, read them while we were doing our unit, and then return them back to the library when we were done. And that worked for us.